Hello, Player3 here. The year is 1999 and you're watching Retro Rewind, another in-depth review filled with the history behind the game, a walk through the manual, my own gameplay ratings, and much more. This time, the Central Pacific, the Union Pacific, the Golden Spike if victory is yours. That's right, it's Transcon. Transcon. Lionel Trains Presents Transcon was published and developed by Knowledge Adventure and licensed, obviously, by Lionel LLC. Lionel LLC began as Lionel Corporation and has been producing toy trains ever since its genesis in 1900. Having been sold around a few times, in 1995 it became what it is today, Lionel LLC. Knowledge Adventure, on the other hand, was founded in 1991 and somewhat recently rebranded as Jumpstart Games until very recently ceased existing. During its time as Knowledge Adventure, they had many brands under their belt, which they made educational games for. Most prominently, though, were its Fisher-Price Games and Jumpstart series. The latter, if I remember correctly, we actually played some in school, as these were educational and covered a range of grades and studies, being so prominent for them that they would wind up rebranding to that name. They also acquired Neopets in 2014, which seems like way past its prime by that point. Oh, they still have an active website, even though they are defunct? Oh, no, don't go there. Why does this Thailand gambling app have the Knowledge Adventure domain name that redirects here? This wasn't Lionel's first licensed video game, though it was only a month away from having that title. The first Lionel licensed game was Train Town by Dynamics and Sierra Online. Screenshots make it seem a lot like Lego Logo, but upon seeing gameplay, it's a lot more complex than that. Dare I say, I want to play it. But that's for another video. As far as Transcon, you better be ready to get edumacated, cause there's a lot to learn. Let's start even further back than Knowledge Adventure and Lionel, to the setting of our game, the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad, merging the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific. The idea for the Transcontinental Railroad began in 1860, though after funding and legislation, not to mention slow progress from being in the midst of the Civil War, work began in 1863 and would take 6 years to complete. Building west from Omaha was the Union Pacific, made up mostly of Irish immigrants and ex-soldiers, and east from Sacramento was the Central Pacific, made up mostly of Chinese immigrants. They met on May 10, 1869 in the desert near Promontory, Utah, originally called the Pacific Railroad. Then it began to be known as the Transcontinental Railroad, as it spanned, well, the continent. At the time, various railroad companies had Pacific in their name, as having Pacific in the name was almost a necessity, as it made them seem more respectable. Something about the name inspired a dream of transcontinental travel. You even had the Tennessee and Pacific Railroad, which went where? Of course, Lebanon, Tennessee to Nashville, Tennessee. On that historic day in 1869, the presidents from each company rode in on an engine of their own. Engine number 119 from the east and the Jupiter from San Francisco steamed towards each other. Each president drove ceremonial spikes, the infamous golden spike and a silver one, which nobody cares about, because why care about a silver one when there's a gold one? After the driving of the last spike, the golden spike, a telegraph was sent out around the United States. 1, 2, 3, done, signifying the final hammer strokes driving in the spike. The workers then proceeded to drink $3,000 worth of whiskey. This was a huge moment for the country. So huge that I'm going to tell you it all over again in the words of the Transcon game manual. The Transcontinental Railroad was the most amazing engineering feat of its day. Beginning in 1863, it took tens of thousands of men 6 years of grueling work to cross 1,776 miles of the harshest land the West had to offer. For their heroic efforts, the U.S. government granted the Union Pacific and Central Pacific Railroads more than $50 million to complete it. Now you can join the race to build the Transcontinental Railroad in Lionel Trains Presents Transcon. Starting from either Sacramento or Omaha, you will survey the terrain, overcome obstacles, and lay track in the quest to be the first company to reach Promontory, Utah, and win the Golden Spike. But watch out! 6 real-life outlaws have stolen the Golden Spike and are sabotaging the railroad. Joined by a dream team from history, you set out with Jack and Sarah to unravel the mystery and capture the gang behind this dastardly deed. So there, all wrapped up in a tiny bow, the backstory of the real events of the Transcontinental Railroad construction and our historical fiction story laid out for us. Now we gotta join the dream team of Jack and Sarah and pick which company we want to build for. The Union Pacific will build west from Omaha, the Central Pacific will build east from Sacramento. To learn a little bit about each route, click on the posters. To select a company, click Join. Engine HQ is your home base. Here you'll find Jack and his steam-powered map. Use the map to launch 3 kinds of missions: building the railroad, saving the railroad from sabotage, and capturing outlaws. Those 3 mission types, in summary: building the railroad, you have to build from point A to point B within the funds given to you from the government as you encounter various obstacles in an Oregon Trail sort of fashion. Saving the railroad, whether it be a bomb or some other issue keeping the train from carrying on to its destination, you have to solve it and get the trains moving again. And thirdly, capturing outlaws. When one is spotted, you must go to that location and track them down and bring them back to a holding cell for interrogation. Speaking of which, whenever an outlaw is captured, Sarah will be waiting in her interrogation room. It's up to you to tell her what questions to ask and how to ask them: polite, tough as nails, or totally loco. To begin the interrogation, click a wanted poster, then click who, what, where, or why to ask a question. Of course, outlaws won't always be truthful. In fact, they'll try to confuse you. Fortunately, Sarah's got a steam-powered galvanic skin response truth meter to indicate whether an answer is true, dodgy, or false. You expect a kid to know what a galvanic skin response truth meter means? I hardly do. Whenever you earn a clue leading to the identity of the mastermind, it's added to your train of thought journal. To accurately identify the mastermind, you'll first need to capture and question all 6 outlaws, solving these clues and having to pick out the correct mastermind from a list in a sort of clue board game fashion. Damn you, Colonel Mustard, give me that golden spike back. Then technical support. No, I already made that joke in the last video. On to the game. The game opens to a steam-powered menu. There's your typical settings, as well as a credits sequence for the development crew, and then starting a new game or continuing with a saved one. Starting new, here we go. Easy or hard? I can manage hard mode. Now the cinematic introduction. Take it away, Jack and Sarah.
This is the story of the Transcontinental Railroad, a bold attempt to span the West with iron rails, the greatest train race in history.
You are about to lead a team of 10,000 men across the most dangerous and difficult land on Earth. If you succeed, it will be the greatest engineering feat this country has ever seen.
If you fail, the country will forever stand divided.
The Central Pacific.
The Union Pacific.
2 railroads racing towards Utah.
The Golden Spike. If victory is yours.
Alright, now it's time to choose our company. Like it said in the manual, we can learn about each company through elements on the posters. I've played both before, each one is similar, but I'll want to take the longer distance for this playthrough. There is still a few mountains this way, so I'm going to go with the Union Pacific on this run. If you want to see what the journey with the Central Pacific is like, that's up to your own experience. Now, Sarah is just Sarah, but Jack was named after John Jack Casement, the former U.S. general who was the construction boss for the Union Pacific. Now, in our home-based train car, Jack and Sarah introduce us to our dream team, made up of 3 Wild West legends to help us capture outlaws and save the railroad: Calamity Jane, Wild Bill Hickok, and Tomahawk Beckworth. Ah, this takes me back. I do love this game. Let's take a look around the home base real quick. Jack's steam-powered map. Jack, he's a funny guy. And Sarah, stuck in her interrogation room. I don't have any outlaws in holding yet, but we'll get Geronimo, Belle Starr, Jesse James, Black Bart, Billy the Kid, and John Wesley Hardin. And back out with Jack, the calendar, when we click on it, Jack will tell us quite a few interesting facts about that year in question. Let's hear a few for 1863. President Lincoln has just given his Gettysburg Address. There are more than 31 million people now living in the USA. There were 270 million at the time of this game's release in 1999, and there's 340 million now in 2025. Roller skating has become the new craze, and Thanksgiving became a national holiday. There's between 5 and 10 facts like this for each year if you click through them all. The only thing left to do is start building the railroad. Lit up on the map shows each stop along the way. The only mission available right now is a build mission, but when an outlaw is spotted or a sabotage has stricken our railroad, that will appear in the same icon on our path to Utah. So, Omaha to Columbus it is. Here we'll get the rundown of where we start, how long the distance is, and how much the government will fund that distance. For this stretch of track, we're getting $1,440,000. That's quite a bit, especially for 1863. But don't get too greedy. Those funds can drop like a stone if you're not careful. This is hard mode after all. Even if you do go bankrupt though, you just have to try again. No big deal. I love that the cursor is a spike. The whole game is point and click, so learning the controls was simple enough. And as we move it around, different elements will be highlighted. Click on them and learn about them to better determine where you want to build from point A to point B. Okay, looks like there's a bit of a side mission here. The Pawnee are here. Not that Pawnee, the natives. We are building through their land after all, manifest destiny and all that jazz. The Dream Team can help us along, and we can look through photos of just about every highlightable element. Our first obstacle, a wide river, the Elkhorn River. For rivers, there are 3 options for bridges, a deck plate, wood trestle, and iron trestle. Each one with different specifications for each river type they are good for. There is a right and wrong answer, so you do have to pay attention to the river details. It can wind up costing more than you want if you pick the wrong bridge, and it collapses. There is so much to click on and learn about, and so much to be easily overlooked, but I absolutely love the amount piled in here. This would honestly be a great learning tool for young students, and I'm sure it was at some point in time. As far as I'm aware here now, these random events are actually random, in terms of if I were to try this again, I wouldn't face the same perils. I believe the maps and structures and peoples in that area where you have to build will remain the same, but a bear encounter or the like wouldn't show up the same, if you follow. Alright, we made it to Columbus. First try. Easy enough. This was the first mission, after all, even though this is hard mode. I had plenty of funds to spare. It's already been 3 years building from Omaha to Columbus. I assume that that is historically accurate, being in the midst of the Civil War. This seemingly short stretch took 3 years to build. But anyway, right on to the next mission, Sabotage. A train yard fire. Let's go save it. I don't believe there was any advantage or disadvantage to choosing which member of the Dream Team to use for each mission, but I tried to mix it up. This one, I used Calamity Jane, and I do remember this mission fondly. Not sure if the fire in the train yard mission is always first in a new playthrough, but it and an eventual Buffalo Spirit one are there in my brain to stay. I'm pretty sure every mission possible is in the game. There's none that it cycles through, if you know what I mean. Just not sure if the order is always the same for each playthrough. After another build mission to Lexington, Nebraska, there's an outlaw spotted. Billy the Kid, spotted in Omaha. Like I said, switching it up, now with Wild Bill. Got him. Oh no, an outlaw sabotage and build mission all at once. Black Bart, I'm coming to get you first. Third and finally is Tomahawk Bentworth. Without a doubt, my favorite. Even though the character you choose doesn't determine how the mission will go, but their idle animations, their look, and most notably, the way they run. Because Beckworth here, and his absolutely absurd run, how does he run with his body so far forward and not fall? Yeah, I knew that would happen. Okay, well, Black Bart got away. Thanks, Tomahawk. All your fault, obviously. I'll try Wild Bill again. What's as big as a schoolhouse, yet weighs nothing? A well? Oh, maybe the water tower. Okay, nope. Third time's the charm. Tomahawk, redeem yourself. What doesn't get any wetter, no matter how much rain falls in? Okay, that's gotta be the water tower. What? Wait, why did I pick the school? Hey, Hey, past me? What's going on here? 4th time's the charm. I'm gonna just pick the water tower. 5th time's the charm. What's the pattern here? I've given up on playing how it's supposed to be played. Haha! What? Bastard. I have to find him twice. Oh, great. Okay, he either hides in the schoolhouse or the water tower, then after I find him, the church. I'm just going for it. I'm so bad at this. One more time. Ah, yeah, first try. Careful there, Jack. Okay, sabotage again. Oh, this is the one I remember. The buffalo spirit. Yep, perfection. Let's build again. Lexington to North Platte. Oh god, that's a river. And canyons. Oh god, I built the wrong bridge. 750,000? No! Alright, with that done, like always, I could keep building, but yet again, there's a sabotage I need to clear up, and Bellstar has been spotted. Who have we locked up so far? Black Bart and Billy the Kid. That's it. I think it's time for some interrogation, though. No matter what I do, Billy really isn't that helpful. Sometimes I can run with all nice, mean, or loco and get decent enough responses, but Billy's a jerk, and nothing seems to work on him. And these dodgy clues? Useless. I do love Black Bart, though. Always talking in rhymes and riddles. Though the real Black Bart didn't talk in rhymes, he did leave a couple poems at his sites of robbery. Next, I catch Bellstar and interrogate her. There's a bomb in the train yard I have to detonate once I've safely moved the train engines and cars out of the way. Finally able to build on from North Platte to Pine Bluffs now. Then on again from Pine Bluffs to Rollins. Having now reached the Rocky Mountains, it's 1868. 1 year to go. Now a bridge was bombed. Oh my, this is sketchy as hell. And pretty lucky that the engine is teetering here. I guess I gotta save it and fix the bridge. Ah yes, that engineer over there is in charge. How did you get over there if your train didn't? I guess I gotta go yell at you from across the chasm to get instructions from him. Calamity? Ah yes, my bad. Once one of these Dream Team members starts an idle animation, I have to wait. And that could be like 10 seconds. I forgot, my bad. Okay, a chain to pull the locomotive back first. Nope. No, get off that. Okay. These hitboxes, I tell you what. I remember getting stuck on everything, and therefore I had the knowledge to try to point them around every little thing. But even knowing they get stuck a lot, it's so much worse than you think in practice. It's really getting on my nerves at this point. Especially when they get completely stuck unless you lead them in one specific direction to break free from that spot. I haven't had this happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could get one stuck and unable to break free, and then you gotta start over. And when clicking a long distance away, you would think they would find their way, but no. They weren't coded well enough for that. Once you hear the pitter-patter of their feet stop, you know they got stuck and have to find them and break them loose. Okay, mini rant over. Locomotive safe, time to lay ties. This is moving quite quickly now. Next is the spikes, gotta telegraph for more. Alright, a 2-for-1. John Wesley Hardin and Jesse James. Okay, done and done. And one more build, on to Promontory. But we're not done yet. Geronimo's been spotted. I need to catch all 6 before I can finish the game. Now, Geronimo wasn't an outlaw, but according to Jack here, he might have answers to help us find out who the mastermind is. Okay, time for questioning. A little laughing gas here and there, and I think I've got enough clues. Time to find the mastermind. The true and false answers are what we need. Dodgy don't do much. So for who, a birthday in a warm month is false. Andrew Carnegie would work, November 25th, and Oaks Ames, January 10th. Okay, that narrows it down a hell of a lot. Already down to 2? Unless I'm missing something. The risks don't really help. I need to ask more questions. Okay, it seems like they live near the coast, is large or small but not in between, he makes things, and his work deals with the railroad. I think it's gotta be Oaks Ames. Okay, yeah, that's it! I did it! Woo! The golden spike! They said you only get one chance to pick the mastermind or he gets away. Not sure what happens if I pick wrong. Does he get away? Do I have to restart the whole game? I'm sure that's happened to me in the past, though I don't remember. But I won, so yeah, this is what winning looks like. Just suck and lose if you want to know what that's like. Released on October 19th, 1999 to I don't know what success. It was really hard finding much at all about this game in the first place. It's just about vanished into obscurity, if it really ever had a presence in the first place. The only way I know about it was that I played it as a kid. It was released at the price tag of $30 for the Standard Edition, or the Super Ultra Deluxe Edition, the Centennial Edition for $40, celebrating Lionel's 100th birthday. What would ever make you not want the Centennial Edition for just $10 more? It came in this sick tin, with a mini steam engine and tender, and a map of the Transcontinental Railroad. This is what I have anyways, or rather my dad does, though we don't know where the map is. If you want a copy for yourself of this Centennial Edition, it's extremely cheap for the whole set on eBay. As far as reviews, there is only one review I found, from Super Kids Educational Software Reviews. This sounds like the right people who are qualified for this rating. I better take it to heart. Let's see their breakdown, divided into 3 categories: educational value, kid appeal, and ease of use, each being out of 5. For educational value, 4.5 out of 5, Transcon ignites history for the student. It immerses students in a great adventure. For each section of railroad that is built, students receive a set amount of money from the government. As they build, students make decisions that affect the financial status of their companies. In addition to the knowledge gained through missions, kids can learn about the history of the day and the towns and peoples encountered along the way, and see actual historical photographs. Yep, all good there. Kid appeal. What, did they take a poll or have a study set up with kids as the subjects? Our tests revealed that the young users, especially boys, were excited about the theme and anxious to dive in, but failed to get the point of much of the program. So yeah, they did have test subjects. But what do they mean exactly by didn't get the point? One boy's main interest was in finding the clues, looking for bad guys, and killing anything he could. He made little to no effort to move the train along or manage his supplies, etc. The program was fun for older users without being overly childish, and it is the kind of program that can grow with a child. I fall into that last category. Anyways, they gave that a 4 out of 5. And ease of use, Transcon is not simple to use. That's all I needed to hear. It wasn't what I deem not simple to use. They were just saying that they needed to get good, basically. They gave ease of use 3.6 out of 5. So after a little math, getting it like how I would rate it, Super Kids gave Transcon an 8 out of 10. Like I said, that was the only scored review I could find of the game. Granted, even if it was a mainstream game, being an educational game does make it a tad odd to rate. Unless you have a review site catered specifically for kids' educational games, like Super Kids Educational Software Reviews. But without further ado, as a non-kids educational review channel, let me be the first then to rate Lionel Trains Presents Transcon 8.25 out of 10. There may be a sprinkle of nostalgia tickling that score a bit, but I really did think that just about every aspect I score my rating on was well done. The only thing keeping it out of the 9s was the graphics, which were straight up shit. Honestly though, they were pretty damn bad. And don't even get me started, again, on those hitboxes. I was still surprised how I was able to just pop in the CD and somehow it ran perfectly on my Windows 10 computer, being made for Windows 95-98. All in all, 8.25 puts Transcon 8th in my overall order of games I've played for the series, just below Earthworm Jim and Sonic Adventure. Second for games I've played so far this year, first in the educational games category, as this is the only one, and third for games I've played on Windows, behind the Monkey Island games. And as far as games with the same overall enjoyment level, that would be the same as The Secret of Monkey Island, Resident Evil 2, Sonic Adventure, Night Trap, The Immortal, Conquests of the Longbow, and Monkey Island 2. I loved this game as a kid, and I loved playing it again. If you've played this game before and want to play it again, I'd recommend picking up a copy for yourself, if you don't have one already. Like I've said, it worked perfectly on a modern computer for me. And If you've never played this game before and are interested, I recommend the same. If you have any game recommendations for me to play in the future for this series, leave them in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll enjoy what I have in store. That's all for now. See you next time.